Okay, you may have noticed one thing, and that's we've got this flipper that's cut off on the edge of the photo and so gone. So we obviously had two choices when we did this. We could have cut this bird out of here, right? But better, I want to show you how to use a tool called the clone stamper, and we'll use this in another context in a later video as well. But how do we go ahead and fix this flipper? Well, we're just going to have to redraw it, but obviously we can't just redraw it with any brush. So let's use the clone stamp. So the first thing we need to do though is apply this layer mask, because right now if I have this layer mask on, right, and I'm right here on the thing, if I go to draw, so you notice it goes, and let me pick a color you could see, right? It's not there. You can't draw outside of that penguin. So we need to apply this layer mask. So I'm just going to simply right click on it and say apply layer mask. And now we're back to normal where I can just draw anywhere on that layer. That's our first step. Now I need to add a shape of a flipper. So how can I do that? Well, I'm just going to go ahead and use the lasso tool to freehand it a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead here and just be like, yes, this is a penguin. And when I release it, it'll go ahead and close itself. And now I'm going to go to a tool called the clone stamp. And so this clone stamp, just like any other brush, can have a hard and soft edge, right? So let's make it as hard as possible. So hold Shift and hit the right bracket until it doesn't move anymore. So 4 again is the maximum. And I'll make this a little smaller with the left bracket. So left and right brackets, make them bigger. And I'm going to look up here real quick though in the context bar. So we have different ways we can sample. We can either sample the current layer, the current and below, and all layers. We just want to take this flipper right here, nothing else here. So we want current layer. And what does it mean to sample? Well, we have to tell it where do we want to copy. This is basically like copying to the side. So if I just go and start painting with it, notice that Photoshop balks and says, you didn't give us a source, right? A place to start copying. So what you need to do is hold down the Option key and notice how the cursor becomes like this little target. And so I'll just click with that, and now you see it's kind of loaded into my my brush when I go over here. And I'm simply going to draw this in. Now see, now down here I didn't get it all the way, so I'll sample a second time right here at the bottom. Go over here, right? And now I'm going to hit Command D to deselect, and you're going to notice that it's still got a terrible little line here. We don't want that line there. So all I'm going to do is make my sample brush smaller, sample kind of off to the side here, and I'm going to just do this, trying to make it look, see, I don't like that right there. Let's fix this, right? Just making sure we can't tell that it's been sampled. Right? And so that's it. I went ahead and I made a flipper. Now, is it too big? Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to work on it. But you see how easy it is to really just rebuild a part. Well, especially when it's such a simple part. There'll be other parts that are a lot harder to rebuild. But that is the clone stamp. That's it. We completed our penguins in New York, and now I'm going to show you a couple more skills that you may have to use while doing your Chimera project.